Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mohammad Saifuddin bin Sukito, and I'm going to present my project, which is a self-assessment tool for measuring the readiness of Malaysia manufacturing industry to implement Industry Revolution 4.0. Beside my picture, which is my supervisor, Dr. Musli bin Muhammad. Let me begin the presentation with the introduction, that have 5 subtopics in the introduction. Firstly, background study, problem statement, objective, scope study, and significance of study. Next, for the background study, Malaysia manufacturing industry is now one of the new players in Industry 4.0. The leaders in the global manufacturing that leads the implementation of Industry 4.0 is United States, Germany, Japan, and others developed countries. For time being, Malaysia manufacturing industry are stuck in between Industry 2.0 and 3.0. Only few of Malaysia manufacturing industry is going through the phase of transformation between Industry 2.0 and Industry 4.0. Therefore, the companies in Malaysia need a right support tool to identify their readiness and capabilities. The readiness assessment is the first step to identify where the company need to focus to adopt the Industry 4.0. For the problem statement, there are limited studies by Malaysia literature related to the readiness assessment. One of the online self-assessment is prepared by MITI that evaluated by the external assessor. And next is the Malaysian manufacturing industry lacks of proper preparedness and strategic plan. So therefore, my project going to develop the self-assessment tools by using Microsoft Excel. Next, we go to the objective. Firstly, my study is to investigate critical factors for measuring the readiness of the manufacturing industry to implement Industry Revolution 4.0. And next is to develop the self-assessment tool for measuring the readiness of manufacturing industry to implement Industry 4.0. After that, number 3 is to evaluate and refine the self-assessment tool for measuring the readiness of manufacturing industry to implement Industry Revolution 4.0. For the scope of study, firstly is to refine the existing assessment tool, and next is to propose a self-assessment by using Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. Next is this research method for this project is using the expert survey. For the significance of study, this study will help manufacturing industry to increase the awareness on how important the readiness assessment and be prepared in transformation toward Industry 4.0. Second significant study, the development of Microsoft Excel spreadsheets provide a simple and easy approach to assist organization to assess the readiness assessment. Next is literature review. In literature review, I have five subchapter, which is Industry 4.0, assessment tool for implementing Industry 4.0, critical factor in measuring the readiness, existing study related to readiness assessment, and next is existing Industry Revolution 4.0 readiness assessment and maturity model. Okay. For the Industry 4.0, what is the Industry 4.0? The Industry 4.0 comes from the German government high-tech policy, which try to redefine manufacturing position following the global economic crisis. The picture on the top of the slide, which is the 4 Industry Revolution for the Industry 1.0, is start from the mechanization of introduction of steam and water power. Move to the Industry 4.0, start to implementing the electrical power in the mass production assembly line. After that, move to the Industry 3.0, which is the automate production, merging the computer and IT system and robotic. As for now, the Industry 4.0 is the smart factory, including the autonomous system, IoT, and machine learning. Okay. The industry technology is provided to integrate to produce the smart factories concept. Okay. The picture shows the pillars that needs for the Industry 4.0. Start from the Internet of Things, big data and analytics, cloud computing, cybersecurity, horizontal and vertical integration, robotic, augmented reality, additive manufacturing simulation. Next is the assessment tool for implementing Industry Revolution 4.0. Okay, the assessment tool for the evaluation the readiness of Industry 4.0, which is the approach for determining an industry readiness or preparedness toward the Industry Revolution 4.0 adoption. And some of the readiness assessment are called maturity model, which evaluate the maturity of the organization to the Industry 4.0. The maturity model is quite different with the readiness assessment because readiness assessment is first step in the assessing the readiness of the company. So the readiness assessment is usually taken before applying the element of strategy of Industry 4.0 to identify which critical factor need to be focused more. So readiness assessment is taken before the maturity model because maturity model is uh, more toward the strategic plan to adoption Industry Revolution 4.0. There is the critical factor in measuring the readiness of Malaysia manufacturing toward the Industry 4.0. This is a few study from the previous study paper, which is studied by University of Warwick, Schumacher, University of Petrocha, MITI. The list below is the critical factor that listed in the papers, which is the University of Warwick listed down the production and service. Next is manufacturing and operation, strategy and organization, supply chain, business model, and legal consideration. For Schumacher, have listed down X critical factor, which is leadership, customers, product, operation, culture, people, governance, and technology. And next, move to the University of Pretoria from South Africa, which is the listed 6 critical factor that says strategy and organization, smart factory, smart operation, smart product, data-driven services, and employees. For the MITI, actually, MITI have divided into three shift factor, which is people, process, and technology. Below is the sub critical factor from the people's process and technology, which is from people that is leadership and strategy. For the process, products management, supply chain management, and horizontal integration. For the technology is technology automation, technology integration, intelligence, and technology connectivity. Okay, next we move to existing study related to the readiness assessment. So the first in the slide is a study made by Ashima, the topic of automation and manufacturing of smart materials in additive manufacturing technologies using Internet of Things toward the adoption of Industry 4.0. The objective of this study is to identify and utilizing Industry 4.0 technology to increase the reliability, automation, reliability of AM is short form for additive manufacturing operation, and mass 3D print smart material to investigate how the Internet of Things additive manufacturing technology will assist the company and material producer. Next, move to the next study made by Lisato, which is the topic model to evaluate the Industry 4.0 readiness degree in industrial companies. The objective of this study is to propose a model to measure the readiness of the industry regarding the implementation of Industry 4.0. Next is to develop the proposed model. This work is a basic structure like the one with Society of Automotive Engineering. After that, the study made by Mashato, which is Industry 4.0 readiness in manufacturing companies. The challenge and enabler toward increase the digitalization. Okay, the objective of this study is to evaluate the digital readiness of 7 companies through the application of SecChat tool and to identify reason and challenge and enabler toward the digitalization. Okay, for my study, I'm going to compare all the existing studies and how the method they achieve the objective. Next, we move to the existing Industrial Revolution 4.0 readiness assessment and maturity model. For the first picture in the slide is the Impulse, the readiness assessment made by Impulse. It is the online self-assessment in the 6th dimension with 18 items to determine the readiness in 5 stages. Next is the readiness assessment prepared by PricewaterhouseCoopers. It is also the online self-assessment in 6 dimension, concentrate on digital maturity in 4 level. After that is the readiness prepared by MITI. MITI is Ministry of International Trade and Industry, Malaysia. It is an also online self-assessment which the assessor conduct a readiness evaluation based on the 3 primary shift factor, which is process, people, and technology. For the last picture is the Rockwell Automation, which is the readiness assessment prepared by Rockwell Automation Company to evaluate the others company readiness toward adoption of Industry 4.0. For the methodology, I have four subchapters in the methodology, which is start with the research methodology, and next research procedure, next is develop a self-assessment tool, and last is the sampling and target respondent. For the research methodology, I start the research by assessing online resource related to the readiness industry 4.0 in the Google Scholar, Scopus, ScienceDirect, and ProQuest. After that, developing the self-assessment tool prepared in the Microsoft Excel, and after finish developing the self-assessment tool prepared in the Microsoft Excel, I'm going to done a survey by experts in it. This is my research procedure. Okay, I start with the literature review of readiness in Industrial Revolution 4.0 in manufacturing. Study a lot of previous study that related with the readiness assessment. After that, develop assessment tool for readiness to implement Industrial Revolution 4.0 by using Microsoft Excel. After develop the Microsoft Excel readiness assessment, I'm going to conduct to evaluate the self-assessment tool for readiness readiness to implement Industry Revolution 0, which is conduct the survey by expert. After that, if the spreadsheet is acceptable, then the process of the research procedure is complete. If not, I need to define the Microsoft Excel spreadsheet and do another survey. The development of self-assessment tool was developed based on the existing assessment tools such as Industry 4.0 by MITI and Industry 4.0 Readiness by Impulse and PricewaterhouseCoopers Readiness Assessment. Okay, for the appearance of the Microsoft Excel, the first picture of in this slide is the front page of the Microsoft Excel, and next is the second picture is the evaluation of the shift factor in the readiness assessment, and for the last picture is the overall readiness Industry Revolution 4.0. Next is sampling and target respondent. For the sampling and target respondent, start with creating a questionnaire for evaluation and conducting a evaluation survey, and then data analysis based on the evaluation survey feedback. After getting the feedback from the expert about the Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, we're going to refining back the Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. Okay, the targeted respondent, we are going to use the purposive sample, which is to select a sample most useful for the research purpose, which are going to find the one that have experience in industry. Okay. Finally, for my conclusion for my PSM 1 is based on the first objective, which is to investigate the critical factor of readiness assessment. This was achieved by listing out all the critical factors that is used to evaluate the readiness assessment. For my second objective is to develop the self-assessment by using the Microsoft Excel. This is partially achieved because the Microsoft Excel is in progress, and it will be continued to my final year's project too. Okay, for the final objective is to refining the Microsoft Excel is going to proceed in the PSM 2. That's all for me. Thank you.